Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really fascinating world, one that at first glance seems like a true utopia. Imagine a place where, well, every need is met, where your home is actually alive, a thinking entity, and where everyone lives in perfect harmony. They're all connected by this shimmering, giving substance that literally responds to your thoughts. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Like a dream. But what if this perfection came with a hidden price, an unseen cost? What if the very fabric of this reality was, meticulously crafted, a narrative concealing a truth that could unravel everything? So our mission today in this deep dive into the Kanton Verge by Peter Boge is to peel back those layers. We're going to try and uncover what this fantastic narrative reveals about, well, our own understanding of reality, maybe purpose, and that uneasy balance between individual truth and collective peace. And to help us navigate this really intricate landscape, I'm joined by our resident expert. Let's get into this.
Yeah, it's a really compelling setup. The world of Kanton is utterly defined by the Aksis. It's this gold, yellow, living, responsive material that just permeates everything. It literally shifts and flows with thought. It provides food, clothing, shelter. You think it manifests. And homes, they call them cranogs. They're living beings too, almost like sentient family members, not just structures. Isaac's cranog, Gaitan is a great example. It can actually talk, pass down wisdom through generations. It's this seamless blend of, I don't know, technology, biology, consciousness, creating a reality where desire meets instant fulfillment.
Okay, so on the surface, a world without want, where even your innermost thoughts become part of this collective Aksis thing. It sounds incredibly peaceful, almost hypnotic. But you mentioned, well, for a place designed to eliminate suffering, there's this immediate counterpoint, isn't there? What about the Solasán and the Tosk? What do they represent?
Right, you've hit on Kanton's sort of foundational duality there. The Solasán are these unchanging, unreachable lights in what they call the zoom, that's the vault of the sky. They're directly linked to the life-giving rain, which is crucial for Kanton's survival. But then you have the Tosk. It's this vast, dark body of water described as the sea of pain and sadness. It's chillingly cold, apparently tastes distinctly of tears.
Of tears, wow.
Yeah. And touching it causes sharp physical pain, a sensation that's almost entirely foreign to the people of Kanton, the Toskers. So this pairing, Solasán as life, Tosk as suffering, it hints at this constant underlying tension, something the Aksis is actively working to balance, to manage.
So the Aksis doesn't just provide, it actively shields them from discomfort, which creates a society where these Toskers, the people, they're raised without rivalry, without worry. Their games, you mentioned, aren't about winning or losing, just strengthening each other.
Right.
That's fascinating, an engineered utopia. But it makes you think maybe a life without pain or struggle is also a life without true self-discovery or critical thinking.
Precisely. That comfort, that collective harmony, it seems to require suppressing certain experiences, certain knowledge. It's a trade-off, definitely.
And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, in a society where your home literally provides for you and your deepest thoughts are shared, what freedoms do you gain and what might you unknowingly sacrifice for that perfect comfort? Okay, so into this carefully constructed world, we get two brothers, Isac and Kolke, and they start asking questions nobody else does. Kolke's coming of age involves a ritual bath in the Tosk, the sea of pain. That feels like a deliberate challenge to their reality.
Oh, it's absolutely pivotal, a huge moment. See, in Kanton, the Aksis normally envelops every Tosker. It gives them buoyancy, connection. But when Kolke enters the Tosk, his Aksis just pulls back dramatically, leaving him exposed.
Exposed.
He feels intense physical pain. The cold, the sting, that taste of tears, and maybe even more profoundly, this feeling of being utterly on his own. There's just a stark, terrifying contrast to Kanton's whole communal nature. And this plants a powerful seed of curiosity, maybe even doubt, in his younger brother, Isac.
Right. And Isac, instead of being scared off by Kolke's pain, he gets obsessed with reaching the end of Kanton, whatever that means, beyond the Tosk. He starts his own secret training, which, flies in the face of everything Kanton stands for.
His training, especially during the rainy season, it's totally unprecedented for a Tosker. While everyone else is celebrating the Aksis's bounty, Isac is pushing his body hard. His body hardens, develops muscles. That's rare in a world where physical effort is almost, obsolete. But the truly revolutionary part, while swimming, his Aksis actually detaches from him.
Detaches completely.
Yeah. And this gives him what the book calls a free flow of thought, something he's never experienced. And he immediately gets the danger. He realizes he has to hide these intentions, these thoughts from the Aksis, this all-seeing, all-knowing substance.
Which raises huge questions about free will, doesn't it, in this kind of surveilled paradise?
Exactly.
So the Aksis gives comfort, but it also monitors, maybe controls. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The brothers, they set out, they cross this hard, unyielding ground near the Tosk, and they find this dark wall, seemingly endless, rising out of the water. This isn't just the physical edge of their world, is it? It feels like much more a symbolic boundary.
Oh, far more. Climbing this wall, which is completely immovable, lifeless. It's grueling for Isac. He feels real physical pain, scraped skin. He starts bleeding.
Yeah.
This red fluid he's never seen before. And tears. Proper tears of pain.
Wow, that sensation of suffering must be utterly alien.
Completely. To his sheltered existence. As they climb, they find this narrow tube, and eventually they emerge into an entirely new reality. It's a moment that just shatters every assumption they've ever had about Kanton. It reveals Kanton is like a protected pocket, inside something much, much bigger.
Right. Which forces us, and you the listener, to ask, how much discomfort, physical or emotional, are you willing to put up with? To uncover a truth that challenges everything you believe. For Isac and Kolke, climbing that wall was just the start of figuring that out. So what do they find beyond the wall?
It's a revelation, like you said. A world of vibrant green life, totally different smells, sounds, and a new Solasán, a golden yellow sun that actually moves across the sky.
Unlike the static lights back in Kanton.
Exactly. And they see strange, hairy beings, described as ape-like, and then other humans, the Greys.
Oh.
These Greys wear these lifeless sort of Aksis-like shells, and they seem to be collecting inert pieces of Aksis from the environment, just dead chunks.
Inert, so not like the living Aksis in Kanton.
Right. This external world is diverse, dynamic, unsettlingly raw. The Aksis pieces they find here are solid, unresponsive. They can't merge or shift like Kanton's Aksis, and this immediately suggests that Kanton's Aksis, with its constant care, its connection, it's not the universal form. It's maybe a unique adaptation, a controlled state. That's the huge paradigm shift. They realize Kanton itself is inside some gigantic structure, protected by it from this wild external reality.
Okay, that completely flips their understanding of everything. But it also forces a choice, right, between these two worlds.
It does. Kolke, he's captivated by this new freedom, this raw reality. He decides to stay in the new world with the girl he meets, Tanka. He wants to explore.
But Isac feels differently.
Isac feels this powerful duty, a burden almost. He has to go back. He needs to share this new wisdom, as he sees it, with his people in Kanton.
His return must be incredibly complicated then.
Oh, absolutely. His own Aksis, it's changed. It's now this dull yellow color, muted by his experiences outside. And it actually shields him from Kanton's omnipresent communal thought.
He can't fully connect anymore.
No. And he knows he can't just dump the full truth on them. So he tells a partial story about Kolke to his parents. They're obviously troubled, confused. They decide they need to consult the Mangan Tower, Kanton's sort of bank of collective knowledge and wisdom.
And what about his Krenog, Gehen, the living home that always knew his thoughts, his feelings? That connection must have been profound.
It was. And Gehen tries. It attempts to penetrate Isac's Aksis, to understand his thoughts like it always did. But it's blocked. This new, changed, protective Aksis literally pushes Gehen away.
Wow.
And Isac has this flash of insight. His Aksis isn't just protecting him, it's protecting Kanton from the potentially disruptive, painful truth he carries. He's become an unwilling barrier.
That really brings up a huge ethical question, doesn't it? If your whole reality shattered, would you share that truth, even knowing it might destroy the harmony, the comfort of your world? Or would you protect the status quo, keep the peace, but at the cost of, well, the full truth? So Isac then enters the Mangan Tower. He wants to become a wise one. He's hoping to understand, maybe integrate his experiences, find a way to share this knowledge within their system.
Right. The Mangan Tower, it's a whole different world. Rigorous discipline, communal meals, silent absorption of Aksis messages. It's a stark contrast to Kanton's easy life. There's a wise one, Quetzal, who teaches him about power and boundaries. And he's explicit. He calls them mentally made incisions.
Mentally made incisions, what does that mean?
He says they control thought. They ensure a collective striving to maintain this specific human-created state of Kanton, the individual's interest. Pushed into the background, it leads to what he calls self-abnegation.
So it's not an organic utopia at all. It's meticulously engineered, controlled.
Exactly. The comfort from the Aksis we talked about.
Right.
That was just the first layer of this control Quetzal is describing. It's a chilling way to think about utopia. What's the real purpose behind it all?
That is the core question.
And Isaac's biggest learning moment comes during a session with an ancestor, Yorgos, from the lecture library.
Hmm.
Oh, that's their spiritual afterlife. Yorgos asks Isaac this really profound question. Who besides you is real?
Whoa.
Yeah. It forces Isaac to confront the idea that maybe Kanton, its duality, its boundaries.
Mm.
Maybe it's not the ultimate truth. So Isaac challenges Yorgos back. He asks, basically, is there something we've never heard of simply because our own self-created reality, our schema, doesn't lie for it?
That sounds almost like heresy within their system. How does Yorgos respond to that? A challenge to the foundation of their wisdom?
Well, Yorgos doesn't use words. He responds with this chaotic, expanding sphere of color. Pulsing, bursting, no discernible language. And Isaac interprets this as the inability of a self-contained reality to truly transcend itself. His breakthrough is immense. All answers were only within myself.
Within himself, not in the collective.
Right. And in that moment, he sees Quetzal, his supposedly wise teacher, as confused, ignorant even, unable to grasp this wider truth. Isaac realizes that this power that exists without love, as the book puts it, maintains itself by creating boundaries, by preventing the spirit from truly connecting with the external, that outside world he saw.
Yeah.
It's not just a physical wall, it's a cognitive cage, built to ensure collective compliance over individual truth.
That is a powerful, almost terrifying realization. It really makes you reflect on our own lives, doesn't it? How often do we, maybe individually, maybe collectively, build our own realities, set up mental boundaries that stop us seeing a bigger, maybe unsettling truth? What's the real cost of that comfort, that curated peace? So, armed with this knowledge, which must feel incredibly isolating, Isaac has this huge choice to make. He knows revealing the truth about the outside world would shatter Kanton's harmony, plunge it into chaos, maybe pain.
Exactly. So he resolves to protect Kanton. Even if it means sacrificing his own desire for, open truth, he decides he has to go back to the new world. But not to bring its knowledge to Kanton. Instead, he needs to convince Kolke not to return, to leave Kanton undisturbed in its order. He himself yearns for freedom from the Aksis's constant embrace. That longing has just grown stronger and stronger.
So he leaves the Mangan Tower, goes back through that hidden passage to the new world. And as he emerges, his Aksis merges with him, revealing his actual skin, which feels like a really potent symbol, right, of his independence, his separation from Kanton's collective covering.
It is. But the new world has changed again. It looks colorless, mute under a pale sun. It hints that time has passed, or maybe Kolke has had some influence there. His mission to find Kolke, to protect Kanton from this dangerous knowledge, it just solidifies. But then there's one last really chilling twist.
What happens?
Just as he's resolving to act, he's abruptly returned, zapped back to the Trado, right back inside Kanton. Quetzal is there. He tells Isaac he's passed the initiation. He's a wise one now.
Passed. By trying to leave.
Apparently. But then Quetzal gives him this instruction, a command, really, designed to erase his experience, to reintegrate him completely. He says, tell yourself it was only a dream. This is real. Everything else is absurd. This here is your world. Everything else is lies and deceit. Say, I am Isac Tun, who has achieved admission into the circle of the wise to serve the Aksis.
Wow. Just deny everything he learned, everything he felt.
Seems like it. Isaac looks out over Kanton, takes a deep breath, and the book says he surrenders to this reality. His final thought is, it will rain soon.
It will rain soon, like accepting the cycle, the status quo. So what does this all mean at the end? For Isaac, for us. Did he genuinely choose to embrace the fabrication to protect his home? Or was he just reintegrated, absorbed back into a system too powerful to resist? His individual truth just swallowed by the collective order. It leaves you with this huge, lingering question mark, doesn't it?
It really does. Profound ambiguity.
This deep dive into Kanton, it's shown us this captivating, maybe unsettling dance between what we believe is real and what truly exists. Is Kanton this loving, protective system? Or is it a masterful illusion designed purely to maintain control to prevent discomfort? Isaac's journey really forces us to consider the sacrifices made for perceived peace and the quiet, maybe lonely courage it takes to question everything.
His path from just a naive tosker to this wise one, burdened with a secret truth. It reveals that maybe the greatest wisdom isn't always about shouting the truth, but understanding the boundaries, even if you can see right past them.
And he chose, it seems, to protect Kanton's illusions. He accepted his role within that carefully constructed reality. But you have to wonder, what was the cost? To his own soul, his freedom.
Yeah, the personal cost feels immense.
So thinking about this, what does it mean for you, listening? In your own life, what boundaries have you accepted without question? Maybe for comfort, or just for the ease of belonging somewhere. What truths might you, perhaps unconsciously, be pushing aside for the sake of the familiar? What reign are we all waiting for in our own lives? And what truth might it wash away, or maybe finally reveal? Perhaps the greatest wisdom isn't found in the answers we're given, but in the questions we dare to ask. And maybe in the courage to live with the implications of those questions, even if it means our idea of home can never truly be the same again.